Hello everyone! If you read my last article, now you know a little bit how to have optimized commercial department in your company, right? There, I talked about the LTV and the CAC and how to calculate those indicators. If you don't worry, I'm gonna leave the link here. Just click and you're gonna find more information about how these 6 letters can help your company. But now I wanna talk about more problems that I always see in a freight forwarder market. So let's go. Do you calculate how much time your team spends in each shipment of your company? Do you really know the shipments that give you profit and the ones you are losing money? Tough question, right? The point is, sometimes we do have shipments that looks very profitable. But when we see closer, we see that hours and hours from our team were dedicated to make the shipment happen. Sometimes because the client didn't send you the information or the documents on time, or just because the client demands from your team several follow-ups a day and several minutes or sometimes hours on the phone per day. What I usually see in freight forwarding companies is that they just take in consideration the selling rate and the buying rate to understand the profit, but they never take in consideration the time used and the time demanded per shipment per client. Well, we now know the problem. We should take the time as consideration to understand the real profit for shipment. But how can we control the time from our team? Well, there's several ways we can do that. Since Excel spreadsheets doing it manually, so we put the times we work in each shipment, until some tracking time tools that for me, personally speaking, is what I like to use and what we use here in our company. These tracking time tools are very easy to use and can be configured by your business. And with a simple click in the play button, you can start and calculate the time spent in each shipment. With that, in the end, we can really know which clients are really giving us more profit, and the ones that even look as more profitable clients, they demand so many time that in the end, they're not that profitable. So I'm going to share with the links of the tracking time tools we use, sometimes with free plans as Toggle and Team Metric, and I hope you can check it and use it in your company. Now, let's talk a little bit about customer clustering. Customer clustering is a very important way to identify your clients and separate them by groups, understanding same characteristics they have and something else in common they have. What I see in freight forwarding companies is that usually they have the same approach and they have all the same costs, talking about commercial department with all the clients they have. What we understand, and the suggestion we will give you in this video, is separate the clients by groups with the customer clustering. For example, freight forwarding companies can have, for example, 2 groups of clients, okay? Letter A give us more cargo and more profit. And the group of clients number B give us less cargo and less profit. Both companies are very important to keep them and stay with them because all the clients are important, I know that. But we should not put the same investment of time and money when we talk about commercial in the both companies. Why? If we have the group A and generate us more cargo and more profit, we should visit them more, give them better gifts, and also have a management relationship with them. So the manager of your company always calling them. Of course, providing the same level of service for the group A and group B, but the relationship you keep with the group A is more personal. When we talk about group B, understanding they give us less cargo and less profit, we also should keep a relationship with them, but on a digital way. This is providing them a low touch service, and for group A, a high touch service. So same quality of service for both companies, but when we talk about commercial department and all the investment of time and money, we should have different approaches in order to save money with the group B that generate less profit, but also keeping them on board. Now that we have talked about profit per process and also customer clustering, we can talk about the ICP, ideal customer profile. If we understand that time is important to understand the real profit and the clients that generate more profit with less time consuming process, and also that we separate our clients by groups with the customer clustering, we can define our ideal customer profile. Each company and all the companies in the world, they should have the ideal customer profile. When we talk about freight forwarding company, we can consider in the ideal customer profile the size of the company, the model they work, they transport their cargoes, the commodity, and now these characteristics that are gonna show you which one is better for your company that generate more profit and is a less time consuming process. So when you define your ideal customer profile, that's a very important thing. You can have a department of pre-sales, for example. That is very important. When you stop before going and visiting any kind of clients, stop, think, and you have a plan just to visit and get in contact with companies that match with your ideal customer profile. With that, you're gonna have better results and bring aboard companies that in fact will generate real profit and with less time consuming process. So defining the ideal customer profile, it's the next step to have a better commercial department with more profit, better results, and looking for this kind of companies. So with all this information in hand, you just go simply and do your standard sales visit as you're used to. Let me ask you something. After visit for the first time a prospect client, how long it takes for you to get the quote? Do you need sometimes the second, third, even the fourth visit to start getting involved in the loop of quotes? What are you doing to make this process easier and faster? We do have some ideas and I'm gonna share with you in the next video. So I ask you to follow our content and videos to see more tips about how to improve your sales department and get better results in a freight forwarder market. Also ask you to share your comment and ideas here below. That's gonna help us improve our content for the next ones. Okay, see you next time.